Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, welcome. Thank you for your service. I want to talk a little bit about Iran.
Yes, sir.
And let me start out by thanking you and the administration for designating Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a foreign terrorist organization. As you know, that's a step I've long advocated. I've introduced legislation to move it forward. And I wanted to ask you to explain to this committee and the American people why designating the IRGC as a terrorist organization is, number one, justified on the merits, and number two, what the consequences of that designation are, specifically for financial institutions or corporations doing business with IRGC-affiliated entities.
Senator, right, by its very name, people say the IRGC, and sometimes they get the I and the R wrong. This is the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. I think that's important. They named themselves appropriately. It's a terrorist organization. It's killed over 600 Americans. The number's probably far higher than that. They continue to engage in terror around the world, including assassinations campaigns in Europe and the West. This was a kind of easy decision, reflecting reality, and so I'm happy that we were able to announce that decision yesterday. Second, with respect to its impact, the IRGC has another component, which is what I'll call the kleptocracy component. It runs a significant piece of the Iranian economy. The numbers vary, but I've seen numbers as high as 20 or 25% of the Iranian economy has resources and wealth that transfer to the IRGC itself. If you're the general counsel of an Asian bank or a European bank, your world changed when that designation came out yesterday. If you're thinking about doing business or providing material support in any way to any company that might be connected to the IRGC, this sanction will cause you not to do that. From our goal, what that will do is it will deny them the resources to continue their terror campaign around the world.
Thank you for that answer. You and I worked together as there was an interagency debate within the administration about whether the president should pull out of the Iranian nuclear deal. I think the president made unquestionably the right decision. As you know, there were significant voices within the State Department that resisted that step, and that I believe continue to resist that step. And I want to talk to you about two different aspects of implementing that decision to pull out of the Iran deal, namely the nuclear waivers and the oil waivers. On the nuclear waivers, as you know, we have waivers that allow Iran to continue with supposedly non-military nuclear research. If you look to the extraordinary results that the Israeli raid seized from Iran, that debunked what we were told by the Obama administration and the International Atomic Energy Agency, and made clear that there were entire parts of Iran's civilian nuclear program that were built in order to create nuclear weapons, and that it was little more than a sham. I want to ask your view on should we continue to grant nuclear waivers. As I understand, they're up for renewal next month. Should we continue to grant nuclear waivers given the rather significant evidence that doing so could further Iran acquiring nuclear weapons?
Senator, I think this administration I think it's hard to challenge the fact that we have been tough with respect to sanctions on Iran. With respect to particular waiver decisions, both these and the crude oil ones, I don't have any announcements to make today. We need to make sure that they wind through the process appropriately. Your point about different opinions inside the State Department, we've got 90,000 employees. We probably have that many opinions. Make no mistake about it. We will stare closely at this. On the non-proliferation waivers, I'd love to talk to you in a classified setting about it. It's complicated. But suffice it to say, President Trump, I can assure the American people, I can assure the world, President Trump will continue to ratchet up the pressure on the Islamic Republic of Iran such that their behavior will change.
Well, there will be a critical decision point next month also concerning the oil waivers, and it's been publicly reported that there is currently an interagency dispute between the State Department and the Energy Department about whether to grant those waivers again. Right now, Iran is producing roughly 1.2 million barrels of oil a day. That's generating billions of dollars that is funding the Ayatollah, and I believe endangering our security. what are your views on whether allowing Iran to continue to produce 1.2 million barrels of oil a day and sell it on the world market? Is that in our national interest?
I think the State Department, me, I think we've been clear about our objective of getting Iran to zero just as quickly as we possibly can, and we will continue to do that.
Well, let me urge you and urge the department unequivocally not to grant the nuclear waivers and not to grant the oil waivers. I think maximum pressure should mean maximum pressure. You have been a strong voice for that, and let me encourage you to continue that strong position defending our national security.
Thank you, Senator.
Senator Barrasso.